Spider-Man 3, directed by the acclaimed Sam Raimi, was a film ripe with potential. Among the other potential villains slated to appear, this movie held the promise of continuing the Green Goblin's legacy in a way that honored the rich history of the comics. In the original source material, Harry Osborne doesn't just follow in his father's footsteps, he becomes the notorious second Green Goblin. But what did the film deliver? The new Goblin, a character that deviates significantly from the original storyline. Let's rewind to Spider-Man 2, that pivotal scene where Harry Osborne discovers his father's goblin lair. It was a moment charged with destiny. The pumpkin bombs, the flight suit, the iconic goblin mask, all of these elements pointing towards Harry's transformation into the second coming of the Green Goblin. It was a cinematic setup that seemed to promise Harry would embrace this darker, more complex persona. But then, for whatever reason, Spider-Man 3 veered off course, leaving us with a character that strays far from what could have been a rich, layered villain. But in a particular scene in Spider-Man 3, we catch a glimpse of Harry's workshop, a tableau of goblin relics. Among these items, a new goblin faceplate, a classic Green Goblin mask, and then, intriguingly, a gold and silver mask. This mask, with its angrier expression, couldn't be anything other than a nod to the Hobgoblin. In the comics, the Hobgoblin is an enigmatic figure, a character who stumbles upon Norman Osborn's hidden lair and transforms the Goblin legacy entirely. This character, at least originally, was not Harry Osborne, but in the world of the film, Harry Osborne taking on the mantle of Hobgoblin would have been a fascinating twist that I think most movie and comic book fans alike would have been okay with, although personally, I would have loved to see the mystery angle and the Ned Leeds and Robert Kingsley angles play out on screen, but that's a topic for another video. Let's move on. Imagine the narrative depth and dramatic tension we could have experienced with Harry as the Hobgoblin. The gold and silver mask glimpsed in the film was not just an Easter egg, it was a gateway to a story that would have captivated audiences. The new Goblin, as presented, lacked the depth and intimidation factor of a true Goblin successor. The Hobgoblin, on the other hand, represents a villain steeped in complexity and menace. The visual potential of the Hobgoblin's orange and yellow palette and his intimidating presence would have been a visual feast, a true homage to the comic's grandeur. Instead, we were presented with a character who seemed to betray the very essence of what makes a Goblin villain so compelling. Harry Osborne's character arc deserved more. It deserved the richness and intensity of the Hobgoblin. The portrayal of New Goblin just felt like a missed opportunity, a deviation from the source material that could have instead embraced the intrigue and depth of the Hobgoblin. Raimi's vision of the Green Goblin might have had its Power Ranger undertones, but envisioning Harry as the Hobgoblin could have been a stunning redemption. It would have been both visually and narratively fulfilling, aligning more closely with the dark, twisted world of Spider-Man's foes. Instead, we're left with the what-ifs, imagining a scenario where Harry Osborne rises as the Hobgoblin, a villain who could have been the highlight of Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Sam Raimi gave us a remarkable portrayal of the Spider-Man universe, yet in this one aspect, the potential for something truly iconic was overlooked. The Hobgoblin, as envisioned through Harry Osborne, remains an untold story, a path not taken. For fans like me, it's a concept that lingers, a tantalizing glimpse of what might have been in the rich tapestry of Spider-Man's cinematic world. But in the ever-evolving landscapes of comics and film adaptations, Who's to say what the future holds? Perhaps, in some alternate storyline or future adaptation, we'll witness the rise of the Hobgoblin, a character deserving of his place in Spider-Man's rogues gallery. I guess, if anybody is still watching the MCU in 2024 and beyond, perhaps hope still lies in that version of Ned Leeds, perhaps retrofitting some of Norman Osborn's equipment and becoming that universe's version of the Hobgoblin. Yeah, that sounds appealing.